Okay, well, we're just going to kind of start this over then. We've got all the articles up and everything already, but good morning. That way, whenever I upload this, I won't have to cut it, re-edit it, and everything. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope everything's going well. We just totally lost connectivity to Twitch's servers, so our broadcast started over. So we've already got our articles up and everything. Hope everybody's day's going well. We got City Skylines Day 2 going on. We're obviously going to go ahead and do September 23rd's edition of Video Gaming News. We've already got articles up. Let's get into it. Sorry for the disconnection for everybody that was in the channel. Really kind of odd there, but let's get in it. Yeah, Gamer. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of that in the news previously, man, on the like games they already know that they're planning on releasing for Game Pass. Kind of, I think they've already worked out a kind of a. I would need to dive into it a little bit more, but I think there's already a number of games that they're just in collaboration with the business, even outside of them owning, that are running on Game Pass, and there's a tentative list for what's going to be coming when the acquisition comes to fruition, right? Um, we'll look at that last. Again, we've already got the articles up. Usually with the news segment, we kind of look through all these searches together and everything, but we had already done that. Twitch servers, I think, went down. It was really weird. So here we go. Let's start this up. Cyberpunk 2077 hits 1 million daily players following anime release. Cyberpunk 2077 developer CDPR has announced that the video game hit 1 million daily players each day this past week. This marks a relatively massive resurgence for the title following the release of the Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime on Netflix. On Steam alone, according to Steam charts, Cyberpunk 2077 had over 86,000 concurrent players in the past 24 hours. Quote, each day of this week, Night City has been visited by 1 million players, both new and returning, the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account shared. We wanted to use this opportunity to thank you for being with us and playing the game. Thanks, Chooms. It's hard not to see the direct influence of Cyberpunk, which both fans and critics have praised, on the current popularity of the video game. But there are also other significant reasons for the uptick in players. A massive new update to the title, Cyberpunk Patch 1.6, was released in conjunction with the anime's release on Netflix, which added new features, weapons, clothing, and more. On top of that, the first and only significant expansion for Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, was also revealed recently. Whether the resurgence has staying power is unclear, as these things typically come in waves whenever new content is released, but it does seem as if developer CDPR is committed to continuing on with supporting the Cyberpunk IP as a whole, if not Cyberpunk 2077 specifically. Quote, we decided to develop one major expansion for Cyberpunk, which is going to take advantage of all the capabilities of new-gen consoles, and left out the old consoles, said CDPR VP Michael Nowakowski during a recent earnings call. Having said that, we're totally fully committed to developing the Cyberpunk IP further beyond this particular Cyberpunk expansion. We've put a lot of effort and time into building this franchise, and we definitely want to continue building upon what was built right now with new stories, new experiences, new content, basically. Not just the video game format in terms of expansions. There's just going to be one major expansion. However, there's going to be new stuff in the future. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is currently available to stream on Netflix. As for the video game itself, Cyberpunk 2077 is currently available for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, Google Stadia, and PC. But the big expansion coming out for it, right, that they just announced, what's the name of it? God, why can't I remember the name of it? I just read it too. Come on, man. Phantom Liberty. Phantom Liberty, this new big expansion, will only be available for new gen hardware, new gen consoles. So, to all the individuals that have purchased this game on previous gen consoles, they do not get to experience this new content, which to me feels bad. That is a very, very weird play to me on the part of CDPR, especially when they come out and like whenever all this got announced, the new update, and then they came out and like showed a trailer for the new expansion, and they said, now finally, 2 years later, people will be able to finally be able to experience Cyberpunk. This was like a loose quote on what they said. Cyberpunk will finally be able to be fully experienced as it was meant to be experienced. And the people that own it on all the platforms it came out on, not everybody's going to be able to experience that game for the expansion whenever it comes out. Feels weird to me, man. But it is doing well on Steam right now. It went on sale as well at the same time that the anime came out. And so, I don't know. That's probably one of the reasons that it's doing very well on Steam. Phil Spencer still wants Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox. While Xbox users can play a hefty number of titles in the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy XIV remains exclusive to PlayStation and PC. Xbox boss Phil Spencer noted in 2019 he wanted to see the MMO arrive on Xbox, but nothing has changed after nearly 3 years. Luckily, it seems Spencer has not forgotten his earlier comments. Japanese outlet GameWatch recently asked Spencer about the possibility of Final Fantasy XIV finally coming to Xbox. While Spencer did not offer anything concrete, he did provide a little hope for those that still want to see it happen. Quote, "We certainly announced that, laughs. Naturally, we haven't given up yet. This is a commitment from both Microsoft and Square to get gamers, and we will continue to coordinate our efforts," Spencer told GameWatch. Final Fantasy XIV has been around for quite some time, but the game saw a huge uptick in interest over the last year, thanks in part to high-profile streamers on Twitch. For a little while, interest actually got to be too much for Square to handle, forcing the publisher to put a temporary halt on new sales for the game. Things have cooled down a bit since then, but an Xbox port could certainly result in a lot more players checking the game out. Earlier this year, Square laid out a 10-year roadmap for Final Fantasy XIV, so the company has no plans to stop supporting it anytime soon. Of course, that roadmap did not include any plans for Xbox, but that could certainly change at some point. For now, Xbox fans will just have to wait and see if the situation changes and if Spencer and Square can find some way to make it happen. Until then, FF14 is available on PS4, PS5, and PC, and readers can check out all of our previous coverage on the game here. If you're interested, I'll throw it in chat. There you go. A white Xbox Series X console has been spotted in a Logitech advert. Outside of special editions, the Microsoft Xbox Series X console has only been available in black since the launch. Yeah, check that out. Huh. A white version of the console is on display in a newly released advert for a Logitech's Astro A30 gaming headset, which is viewable below. VGC has contacted Microsoft to ask if there are plans to launch a white version of the Xbox Series X, or if the console featured in the Logitech video is a bespoke one created for the advert. Earlier this week, Logitech announced G Cloud, Android-powered gaming handheld, which we hit on yesterday. Go look at yesterday's news segment, okay? We take a bit of a look at an article regarding this piece of hardware. Launching on October 17th for $350. You can pre-order it for $300. But again, I mean, that's roughly around the same price you could get a Steam Deck for. So, considering how good of a piece of hardware the Steam Deck appears to be, I would maybe wait a bit, find out how the Logitech compares, and see which one fills your need the most. Yeah. Microsoft launched a white version of the Elite Series 2 controller on Wednesday. We read about that as well. And they've recently rolled out the Xbox Party Chat noise suppression feature. Yep, we read about that as well. We'll see. We'll see. It's quite possible, I would say, yeah. Maybe a white Xbox Series X coming to retail, potentially. Let's see what this is. The internet's new favorite video game is like Guitar Hero, but with trombones. If you liked Guitar Hero but wished it had more brass instruments, you're in luck. A new rhythm game called Trombone Champ has struck a chord with users online, bringing the kind of much-needed levity to the internet that only a trombone can. Numerous videos have been shared on social media in recent days of avatars blasting their trombones with unbridled joy, and the small developer behind the game is now racing to adapt to the strong demand. Trombone Champ from developer Holy Wow Studios lets players honk, blow, and toot their virtual trombones to more than 20 songs, including Beethoven's Fifth Symphony and the U.S. National Anthem. The game itself is remarkably straightforward. Slide the mouse up and down to very quickly to adjust the pitch while holding down a button for the right length of time to play along with music, accompanied by visuals of cartoonish, memeable characters playing along on trombones, as well as a few jokes about the word toot and facts about trombones throughout history. The game was released last week on Steam for PC for $15, with a Mac version expected soon. Its comedic appeal appears to have already made it a viral success. PC Gamer, a gaming publication, described it as instantly a contender for Game of the Year. Yo, random mode time. Let's go. Before launching the game, Vachito had some concerns about how people would respond. I wasn't sure how people would react to the game since it's nearly impossible to make the trombone sound good, he said. I was also concerned that real trombonists would complain about how unrealistic the trombone controls are. It plays more like a slide whistle than a trombone. Now, Holy Wow is dealing with a different issue, strong demand. At the moment, Holy Wow is mostly a one-person operation, not even our primary gig. We work full-time jobs, the company tweeted on Thursday. Needless to say, based on the part, I think that's supposed to be past. On the past few days, we're planning to take the game further than we originally planned. Going to take us a few weeks to get our lives in order and deal with the huge demand this game generated. Please be patient. That's wild. Let's look at this real quick. Trombone Champ, huh? Yo, nice, gamer. Oh, dude. What is this, dude? This is our next game right here. Trombone Champ. Weird, dude. All right. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I bet that's a wild little play right there. All right. There you go. Trombone Champ. Cool. The more you know, man. Gamer said, "Oh yeah, this is my jam, man." All right, let's go, dude. Let's go. What's up, guys? That's funny, dude. That's funny. Moore's Law is dead. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang says in justifying gaming card price hike. Silicon wafers used to make chips, not a little bit more expensive. It's a ton more expensive, Huang says. Stop. Nvidia chief executive Jensen Huang said on Wednesday he thinks it's going to be a pretty terrific quarter four for Ada, the company's next generation chip architecture unveiled this week. Even as critics balk of a price hike during a softening in consumer demand. Nvidia expects high demand for gaming chips using its next generation Ada Lovelace chip architecture named after 19th century English mathematician, generally considered to be the world's first computer programmer for her work on Charles Babbage's theoretical analytical engine. A smattering of cells will hit the current quarter of Nvidia's $1,600 flagship 4090 goes on sale October 12th, with other cards like the $900 mid-tier 4080 to follow, and the vast majority of the launch occurring in the January-ending fiscal fourth quarter, Huang said. Complaints circulated online about the unexpected price hike. For the respective class of chip, the 4090 is priced 7% above the 2020 launch price of the 3090. It's meant to replace. As for the 3090, an upgraded version of the original was going for $1,100 at Best Buy and an advertised $900 price drop. Even more striking, the 4080 is priced 29% above the 2020 launch price of the 3080. Yeah. Lovelace succeeds Ampere, which was unveiled in May 2020, about 2 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, amid strong demands for gaming cards. Wang has certainly paid for that optimism in form of 2 quarters of really harsh medicine after the chipmaker cut its outlook not just once or twice, but 3 times, and said 400 million in sales are now up in the air because of a U.S. ban on selling data center products to China and a $1.22 billion charge to clear Ampere-based inventory ahead of the Lovelace launch. Quote, "We are very, very specifically selling into the market at a lot lower than is what's selling out of the market. A significant amount lower than what's selling out of the market," Huang said. "And I'm hoping that by quarter four timeframe, sometime in quarter four, the channel would have normalized. And it would have made room for a great launch for Ada." Critics, Huang said he feels the higher price is justified, especially since the cutting-edge Lovelace architecture is necessary to support Nvidia's expansion into the so-called metaverse. A 12-inch silicon wafer is a lot more expensive today than it was yesterday. It's not a little bit more expensive, it's a ton more expensive. Moore's Law is dead, Huang said, referring to the Senate that the number of transistors on a chip doubles every 2 years. And the ability for Moore's Law to deliver twice the performance at the same cost, or at the same performance, half the cost every year and a half, is over. It's completely over, and so the idea that a chip is going to go down in cost over time, unfortunately, is a story of the past. Yeah, so Moore's Law, that's like the more detailed version of it, but if you just remember the fact that basically what Moore's Law consists of is it was a theory that basically technology roughly every, I think what they say. I think Moore's Law actually ran on a standard of about every 18 months or so. It got twice as fast and decreased in size by about 1.5 times, which is what they're talking about with the, the more transistors on a chip and everything. You know what I mean? Computing is not a chip problem. It's a software and a chip problem. So basically, Moore's Law, think faster and smaller. That's what you need to remember. Yeah, they're trying to get into the metaverse stuff. They're promoting the GeForce Now stuff. I don't know. The rest of that's kind of fluff. We don't need to get into it. Um, I'm actually kind of curious to see how this works moving forward for Nvidia. Um, I don't. Have we even seen any benchmarks yet? Have we seen benchmarks? Let's take a look at this real quick. Um, Show me some graphs, dude. Give me that graphical representation. That's what I need. The time spy benchmarks. 40 degrees. Yeah, dude, it's getting chilly. Yeah, it's getting chilly. Yeah, fall's here, dude. Yeah, yeah. Fall is here. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. It's it's still about low 50s for us, and it'll be low 60s as a high for us. Looks like probably overcast, rainy kind of day. And then tomorrow back into the high 70s. But it's here, dude. It's here. Yeah. Um. Ooh, yeah, yeah. That wind's kicking in too, huh? Yeah, bro. Dude, whenever we lived north of up north of Chicago for a while. Not like just north, but a little ways north. But dude, it was still really windy. And outside of the Great Lakes up there, still really windy, dude. And dude, you talk about there were some cold winters, dude. There were some cold winters. Like we dealt with some like winters where we were hitting weeks with negative 15 to negative 20s Fahrenheit with wind chill that made it feel like negative 40 to negative 45 and just constant snow and stuff. It was pretty brutal. Yeah, pretty brutal. We'll get more benchmarks as stuff comes out. Yeah. And we'll get more price comparison stuff too. But I mean, I'm really interested to see what happens here with Nvidia. I think we can already tell that like the 3070 to the 4070 price wise is like a difference of about $150, right? I think the 3070 was roughly retailing for close to $500 on average, and the 4070 is looking to be about 650. But as you move up, like you talk about the 4080 and the 3080, right? It's roughly like what about a 250 to a 300 different price difference, and then even more for the between the 3090 and the 4090. What I think, man, is people are just going to be trying to grab up as many of the 3000 or the 3000 series cards as they can, especially if the performance is kind of negligible. Here's the thing, dude. This is the big thing for me. Um, there are certain people in the world and in different industries in technology and stuff that absolutely need to stay current on, and they're going to need high performance graphics cards to get done what they need to get done, right? So they're going to be going for these new cards. But for a lot of us, just like gaming enthusiasts and stuff like that, do you still see people running like 1000 series graphics cards, 900 series graphics cards from Nvidia, stuff like that, and they can still run most of the games out there at a decent level. So, I think if somebody's in the market for a new card right now, what they're probably going to do is try to swoop up a 3000 series card while they're still stock. Considering how much more expensive the 4000 series cards are going to be right now, I don't know if the price versus performance is going to be there for it. We'll see as the benchmarks come out. But these are probably going to get price cut a little bit more as all these roll out anyways, because they're going to be trying to clear out stock for the 4000 series cards. And people aren't going to want to, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to pay that much, to be honest. Unless you absolutely need the latest, greatest, you know? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Steam now has its own charts, man. After years of relying on third-party websites for analytics, players can now see the data on Steam. Keep reading to learn more about the official Steam charts. For years, players had to use other websites to find out analytics about the games on Steam. Data like concurrent players, daily players, and the like came from third-party websites like SteamDB or Steam Charts. These websites gave gamers a video game journalists This is missing some words or something. These websites gave gamers and video game journalists they need when writing articles. What? Now Steam has decided, okay, am I just reading that wrong? I mean, that sounds weird. Now, yo, Kayla, what's up, my friend? How are you? Now, how's the healing going on the new work, man? Now, Steam has decided to make its own analytics service called Charts. The Charts feature aims to replace the stats page of Steam and gives players a better idea of what is trending and hot on Steam right now. Let's go over its features real quick. Cold? I'm good. Yeah, it's definitely. We were just talking about the weather. Yeah, we were just talking about it. Wick was talking about how it's chilly. Yeah, the fall is definitely here. Yeah, absolutely. Fall is here for me. But I think it's like low 50s. Right now, it'd be a high of low 60s Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, by the way, is what I'm talking about. And then it's like 47 for you, yeah. And then this weekend, it's going to be back to like mid 70s for us as a high. So it'll be real mild. Nice, it'll be nice. So I don't know. The thing for me, dude, is like I'm okay with the chilly, cold weather. I'm all right with it. We lived in a spot for such a period of years where it was just absolutely brutally hot, stupid, humid all the time. And dude, I'll take the cold weather over that crap any day. Yeah. Felt like winter last night. Typical fall weather for New York. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I mean, we dealt with some really really nasty stuff. We lived, you know, what I would say, it not like just north of Chicago. We were a little ways north of Chicago and not too far away from the Great Lakes up there, and it was very windy. We lived up there for a number of years, and lots of snow. Lots of snow and very very. We had some brutal winters up there. So I've dealt with a lot of different climates, man, and I've got to say, the one that I found to be my most hated would be the one that I just moved away from, which was that really really stupid, just nasty, constant heat with the nonstop humidity. I absolutely flipping hated it. I hated it. Um, Steam Charts overview. First thing players will see when arriving at the charts section is the player's online graph. This shows how many players are currently online as well as how many players were online during peak hours. Data goes back 72 hours. People can view the exact numbers at specific hours. Front page of the charts also shows the 5 top selling games on Steam, as well as the top 5 most played games. Most played here refers to how many concurrent users are playing the game right now. People can also see the weekly top sellers and monthly top new releases further down. When you click on the top Steam top sellers, when you click on the top sellers section of charts, it shows the top 100 selling games by revenue. This section shows the game's rank, its price, any changes in its rank compared to last week, as well as how many weeks it's been on the chart. This is updated in real time, so refreshing the page could immediately change their rankings. This section also allows you to view the top 100 per region, so if you're more interested in what games are selling in Japan, all you need to do is switch regions. Steam Most Played. When you click on the Most Played section of charts, it shows the games with the most players. This is divided into 2 categories, current players and daily players. Current players is updated in real time, while daily players is updated weekly. Daily players also have the change in ranking data that top sellers have. Steam Weekly Top Sellers. Weekly Top Sellers shows which games had the highest amount of revenue for that week period. This list is updated every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. These weekly charts date all the way back to 2005, allowing players to do in-depth research if they would like. Monthly top new releases. Every month, Steam releases the month's top new releases. While this has been around for quite a while, people can now easily find what they're looking for on the top charts page. That's really cool, man. That's cool. That's neat. Like, it was real cold this morning, dude. I think my thing is like, as long as I'm getting a good mix of seasons, wherever I'm living, as long as I'm getting a good mix of seasons to where I get like, I'm getting a nice, decent summer where it's not just, you know, hot all year round, you know? Like I get a summer, I get a fall, I get the winter, I get the spring. That's what I'm looking for, man. You know? Bro, stop that. Where are the yeah, there it is. So you go to store and you go to stats and you get the charts overview. Check that out. It was a brutal summer, yeah, was it? But yeah, I mean, I guess it was, man, kind of all over the world, right? Like, dude, we had that heat wave that kind of hit a lot of places. I don't feel like it got us too bad here where I'm at, but I know a lot of places like over in Europe and everything got absolutely just baked, man. They were getting just cooked over there. So you can see top selling games. See, Slime Rancher 2, man, is really doing well right now. Most played. Then it's got the top new releases. What is Ghost Watchers? A co-op online horror game you will explore and hunt ghosts in abandoned houses. Power Wash, Stray, Cartel Tycoon, Multiverses, Digimonster 5. Bro, what? What is this? Have you guys seen this? What is this, like, Phantasmagoria?
It's a good idea.
No.
Kayla. Well, that's
It's
Wick,
nothing.
you know. He only talks to me whenever he feels like
Well,
trolling, you know, so it is what it is.
2. Strange.
That's why, you know, I still love him.
3.
It's alright.
Particles counter is 100.
Yeah, this is Phantasmagoria, right? That's what this is. Somebody made a new Phantasmagoria game.
Oh, I don't like this.
Is there any task about toy in the office? Strange, right?
Mm.
I've seen nothing.
Yeah.
Blood, maybe something. Okay. Yeah, it's blood.
Yeah. Pretty sure that was Chucky.
Little
Kayla, did you
mailbox.
see that?
It's here. It's here. It's right here. Where is the ghost? And the fourth player?
Oh. Get wrecked. That was awesome.
The ghost answer on the board. Another 50 bucks.
Wow.
He caught him.
Yeah, this got yoinks, dude. Yeah, it's just like a Phantasmagoria game, yeah? Ghost Watchers. Okay. Well, that's cool, man. If you guys aren't aware, there's like, if you go over to the store tab and go down to stats, that's where you get to this main page here, yeah? And you can see all these different, like top new releases, weekly top sellers, and all that stuff, man. Very cool, very cool. Nice. Cool. So Rockstar Games turned off their social media comments following the GTA 6 leaks. Rockstar Games has taken some protective measures on social media last weekend. An anonymous hacker claimed responsibility for breaching Rockstar Games' network and leaked 90 gameplay videos of GTA 6. Yeah, leak was massive as Rockstar has only briefly acknowledged that it's working on a new Grand Theft Auto, but hasn't revealed any other details about it. Leak revealed the game's two protagonists, the setting, new gameplay features, missions, and much, much more. It was a devastating leak, and one that prompted Rockstar to respond and reassure fans that it's not expected to have any long-term impact on the game's development. The hacker also claimed responsibility for a recent Uber security breach, and the FBI is now investigating the matter. Wait. Today, Rockstar released its usual weekly update for GTA Online with various bonuses, discounts, and other small additions and changes. Only this time, there was a slight difference. Rockstar Games turned off the comments for its post about this new update on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. A number of Rockstar Games employees have also locked their social media accounts, ensuring no one can view their profile unless they're already following them. This seems to be a result of people spamming leaked videos, images, and other related comments under the posts of both Rockstar Games proper and its employees. While employees are free to do as they please, it's unclear how long Rockstar will lock its social media account for. Perhaps this will last until the game has a proper reveal and fans will be able to focus on that instead of unfinished footage. Yeah, people are just being dumb about what they've seen so far. They have no idea what the final product is even going to look like. They're just, really jumping to conclusions and stuff based on what they've seen of this old, probably very old, leaked early development footage. However, we have no idea when Rockstar is planning to show off any footage of the game. Could be weeks, months, or even next year, as there's no real timetable for this title at the moment. Either way, it seems that the developer is doing everything it can to try and move away from the leaks. Terraria and Core Keeper crossover coming soon. Check that out. What happens when one of the most played sandbox survival games collaborates with an upcoming sandbox survival game? A really fun crossover, that's what. Keep reading to learn more about the crossover between Terraria and Core Keeper. We searched all for that caveling farmer who lost his slimes. Maybe he's not even in the underground anymore. We did find this thing, though. Any idea what it is? A few days ago, Core Keeper hinted at a possible crossover with a certain game. In the video, the player places a blue crown on a pedestal. Although nothing much was shown after that, fans of Terraria quickly noticed that the crown reminded them of one of the bosses for Terraria, King Slime. After a few more days and tweets later, Core Keeper finally announced a crossover event. Cool. Coming September 26th. So 3 days. The Terraria and Core Keeper crossover will happen in 3 days, and it involves an exchange between the two games. Core Keeper's side. In Core Keeper, as hinted in the teaser video, we'll see the King Slime arriving. The King Slime is one of the most iconic bosses from Terraria, as its appearance betrays the amount of damage it deals. Using a special item that will be added during the crossover period, players can summon the King Slime. Of course, this King Slime will be just as aggressive as its Terraria counterpart. Core Keeper players can expect the King Slime to jump around, summon slimes, and even teleport to your location for a surprise attack, just like in Terraria. Defeating King Slime won't be just for bragging rights, according to the official announcement. Killing King Slime will give you some loot. This loot apparently will, quote, make you the envy of your fellow explorers. What exactly this loot is, we will find out once the crossover arrives. Terraria side. As for Terraria, players will be able to get a new pet. Cavelings in Core Keeper are small, adorable, and oftentimes deadly mobs. They are very common in Core Keeper, and now they have made their way to Terraria. Using a special item, Terraria players will be able to summon their very own Caveling pet, Caveling Farmer to be exact, although pets don't really do much in Terraria other than cosmetic purposes. This one will follow you around, quote, looking cute and offering a little moral support. Honestly, that's all we can ask for. The crossover is a permanent one. No need to rush and buy the games just to take part in the crossover. Everyone can take their time unlocking the content. Cool. All right, man. Cool. That sounds really neat. Nice. Gaming Insider admits to making up new Silent Hill rumor. There's an awkward silence in the gaming world right now as those rumors of the new Silent Hill game have just been hushed. For what seems like an eternity, we've heard whispers of multiple Silent Hill games being in the works. While some of them might be true, others have just been outed as a hoax. These days, Konami has been known for letting its IPs fall from grace, with the big three of Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and Castlevania all vanishing into obscurity. Of these, it's probably Silent Hill that's had the biggest tumble, especially when you remember that whole PT Silent Hills debacle. We doubt Silent Hill will be resurrected someday, but it's not likely to be soon. If you've been keeping up, you'll know that Metal Gear and Silent Hill are continuously mentioned in leaks of revivals / remakes. Prominent leaker, the Real Insider, had emphasis on had a solid track record of correctly predicting upcoming releases. So when they said we are getting a new Silent Hill, many believed it. Small problem though, the Real Insider has just been exposed as YouTuber Dan Allen Gaming, who was recently outed as someone breaking NDAs and embargoes to gain clout from his followers. Allen has the inside track after being invited to industry events, but in a cruel twist of fate, turns out he made up the Metal Gear and Silent Hill news. In a video titled I'm Sorry, Allen fesses up about the whole sorry mess. Buried in his apology, Allen admitted that his Silent Hill leak was all crap. Explaining what happened, Allen said, I mentioned Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid Remake, and I can say that there was no NDAs involved there because it's all farce. He continued, it's all lies, bullcrap, secondhand comments. Half the posts were educated guesses. Wow, dude. After being slammed by gamers and journalists alike, Allen has gone on to deactivate both his personal Twitter and the Real Insider. So where does this leave our favorite tormented town? Thankfully, Allen isn't the only one to give the nod toward a Silent Hill comeback. Last year, Dust Golem spoke about a supposed PS5 Silent Hill and a multi-platform release. While it's supposed disappointing that Allen has been outed as a fraud, there are plenty of other leaks about a Silent Hill 2 remake and new-gen franchise revival. Problem is, now that Allen has been called to task, has us wondering how many more fraudsters there are out there making up game news just for the clout and clicks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've seen some screenshot stuff too, though. I mean, now, though, it's like... So, here's the thing. There was some Silent Hill stuff that got leaked that Konami actually DMCA'd. I think that was the big thing about it, right? So there was some stuff that got leaked that looked like new images, modern images from what definitely appeared to be Silent Hill. And after they got leaked, Konami came out very, very quickly and DMCA'd all of it. So that's what leads me to believe that there is something happening with Silent Hill. What exactly it is, I don't know what. But I do believe that there is something happening with Silent Hill. We'll find out sooner or later. Nintendo launches huge Switch eShop sale up to 75% off 1,000 plus games. This is for Europe. So all of our European friendos, here you go. Nintendo has launched a pretty spectacular eShop sale across Europe, knocking prices off a whole load of big hitters. You can save even more on those prices thanks to our discounted eShop credit offer too. Okay. Key highlights from the sale include Hades, Inside Diablo 2 Resurrected, Ollie Ollie World, and Doom Eternal. But be sure to check out the more comprehensive list, including prices down below. Yeah, here you go. So, it looks like Doom Eternal, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Inside Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Monster Hunter Rise, Rayman Legends, Hades, Sonic Origins, Worms, Rumble, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Borderlands, The Handsome Collection, Ollie Ollie World, The Messenger, and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered. They also have a code in here. You can get a little bit extra off, apparently. So if our European friendos, right there's that link to the site in chat. All right. New strategy RPG, the Dialfield Chronicle, launches yesterday. Free demo available. Take a look.
I've always liked video.
That's just a conversation with the composers. That's not what we want to watch. Does this actually show? No. Let's see this. All right, this is Dialfield Chronicle release date trailer, okay? Here you go. This is what Dialfield Chronicle is, and I'll read about it after this.
We are the Blue Foxes. Perhaps you've heard of us.
That new mercenary group, based in Central Field.
This will be the Blue Fox's first long-distance deployment. Expect a major battle.
About 50 of them are inbound from the east, with 5,000 enemy soldiers thought to be on board.
Their aim is to break our lines, but we will stand firm to the bitter end.
We may even be able to take back Dagland if we pursue them now.
We'll hold them here.
We've a path now.
Taste my heel!
Jade has been used as a catalyst for ancient sorcery since before records began. It is bountiful here on Dialfield, but not on the mainland, where it fetches a pretty penny.
A resource war looms on the horizon. The terms they proposed were simply unacceptable. True shame.
This is a predicament of your own making.
I am well prepared. All I wish for is to keep fighting alongside you.
Our time will come. We must be patient.
To right this kingdom's wicked path, I ask you all to lend me your strength.
Oh, it's too much. I simply can't resist any longer.
That has made me realize that I have lost sight of what I am fighting for.
Surely you know what has become of the ordinary people of my area.
How did you come to be so well versed in ancient sorcery?
That was a Pokemon, no doubt about it.
We must be united against the Empire.
Is it not obvious? We must bring the traitor to justice.
So what will he believe in?
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. The Dialfield Chronicle. Cool. Yep. Came out yesterday. All right. So it's a new strategy RPG from Square. Launched yesterday on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. It is set. The Dialfield Chronicles is set in a unique game world featuring a gritty and highly immersive story which combines the best elements of fantasy, medieval, and the modern age while focusing on deep and strategic battles using a real-time tactical battle system. For those unsure if they will enjoy the Dialfield Chronicle, there is a free demo available on all platforms. Check out a new video above which features the composers. Yeah. Yep, basically same thing stated right here. Okay. Yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, the demo's there, so why not try it out? Yeah. Xbox fixing problem where games crash after latest update. Microsoft confirms they are looking at a hotfix due to reports of Series X and S consoles crashing after the latest update. Microsoft has confirmed they are looking into a fix for the Xbox Series X and S consoles after reports that the games are crashing more frequently since the latest system update. The company's latest update began rolling out for both Xbox Series X and S series consoles earlier in the week. The September Xbox Series XS firmware update brought gamers many new features to help their gaming experience. Improved UI and overhaul of the game library made their way to both consoles, along with numerous other quality of life improvements. While the update has largely gone to plan, several gamers have taken to social media to vocalize their dissatisfaction, as there appears to be one problem with the latest software patch. Microsoft has published a tweet saying, the team was aware of an issue with games crashing after the latest update, and a fix will be pushed to all consoles as quickly as possible. The Xbox support team notes that if gamers encounter this issue, a complete reboot of their console should work as a temporary fix before the permanent solution is made. Worth noting, the team has not said how widespread this issue is at this point, so it is likely some players won't experience any dips in reliability and will continue to enjoy the improvements the firmware updates bring. One of the biggest boons of the September update relates to the revamped DRM on Xbox Series X, which allows Xbox One discs to be accessed when the console is not connected to the internet. Previously, the system had to be connected to one of Microsoft's servers to verify the game before allowing players to boot the title, even if the disc was in the console. Any software updates to consoles are always a tricky time for developers. No matter how much care and time is taken to test each new UI upgrade, something can go wrong at any point. Yep. While it's unclear how many players have seen an increase in game crashes, the mantra of turning the console off and back on again seems to be a suitable fix for both the Xbox consoles. Hopefully, there is a speedy solution for Microsoft so that the players can continue to enjoy their games. Yeah. So if you have been having these issues, there's your temporary fix until they push something out for you, okay? Epic reveals 2 free games. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday a bit. Look, here's what you get. Gloomhaven and Ark Survival Evolved. Okay? I'll show you. Free games. We love free games, right? So go get your titles. You've got, if you've got an Epic account, or even if you don't, but you've got a PC, go get your free games. Okay? Even if you don't have a PC right now, or a gaming PC, you can go ahead and create an Epic account. Whether it be just like hopping on your browser on your mobile device, going to their website, creating an account, you can still grab these games and just start building a library. You don't necessarily have to, play them right now. But if you're interested in potentially doing some PC gaming in the future or whatever, why not just go ahead and build up a library of games right now? I mean, they do free games every single week. And look, I am not promoting Epic Game Store or anything. Like I'm not sponsored by them. I just am an advocate of people being able to have access to the world that I love, which is gaming. And anybody that's going to be able to, any company that's going to give you free games, it seems like a win to me. So they do it every single week. And here's a couple of cool titles for people to try out. So go for it. Come get your free games, man. Get your free games. Don't miss out. Okay. Last article I have for the day. We're going to take a look at some modern horror games with old school PS1 graphics. Okay. We've got Scaretober coming up. We are going to be playing Fear 3 because we finally got it working. We were going to play it last year at Scaretober, but we had some issues with it. We've got it working. It's gonna be played first. Then we're gonna play all the Dead Space games. We're gonna play Outlast 1 and 2. We're gonna play Scorn, and maybe we'll throw one of these titles in there too. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this. But if you have anything to add to the news segment today that I haven't touched on previously, then let me know, and I will address it before we move on to City Skylines for the rest of the day. Okay, well, probably a little bit of Shatterline too, but you know how it goes. Nostalgia for PS1-era horror games is at an all-time high, and these 10 modern games replicate the retro feel with frightening authenticity. Nostalgia has long played a part in the development of indie games in years past. Pixel art platformers and pseudo 16-bit RPGs dominated the scene, but more recently, fixations seem to be set on the jagged, jarring polygons of the original PlayStation, where a lot of today's genre staples like the upcoming RE8 DLC first began. In particular, 5th generation 3D seems to appeal to current horror game developers. Particularly, it has something to do with the off-kilter and uncanny appearance of the era's muddy textures and blocky models, or it could be a nostalgia for the onset of the survival horror genre with games like Silent Hill. Whatever the reason, PS1 horror is a huge deal at the moment, And there are these are some of the most exciting entries in the blossoming gaming niche. The Fridge is Red. A vignette of 6 horrific stories. The Fridge is Red is an upcoming indie title set to release in late September that promises to combine the surreal storytelling of Stranger Things and The Twilight Zone with similar aesthetics to the first Silent Hill title. As creative as it is creepy, The Fridge is Red looks to be a landmark a landmark release in this up-and-coming horror release, and those still eager for concrete news regarding the rumored Silent Hill 2 remakes may want to give this a shot in the meantime. No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. Overtly inspired by the 2019 Robert Eggers horror film The Lighthouse, Marevo Collective's No One Lives Under the Lighthouse is a gloomy, bleak title that sees the player step into the shoes of a lighthouse keeper tasked with maintaining the eponymous structure over a gray, rain-soaked 7-day period. Full of frights, both subtle and extreme, No One Lives Under the Lighthouse pioneers some very interesting concepts with unique second-person gameplay segments and entire segments played from the perspective of the game's monster. It's a must-play for fans of Lovecraftian horror and for those who just can't get enough of the PS1 aesthetic. Paratopic. A walking simulator set in a sort of dream world that hard cuts between 3 separate points of view. Paratopic's surreal nature is its primary selling point. Unrelentingly weird and difficult to decipher, the game invokes the vague dread of the many liminal horror media projects that are in vogue in the modern era. Grainy and distorted and masked in a polluted green-yellow filter, there's something off about Paratopic's world from the get-go. While it's less than an hour long, it's worth playing to see how the unreal narrative plays out. Night at the Gates of Hell. An unapologetic brash title published by Torture Star Video, Night at the Gates of Hell is a low-poly FPS title that combines the garish or unreality of Silent Hill's scariest monsters with the grotesque horror of classic slasher films of the 80s. With Lucio Fulci's zombie films listed as primary inspirations, Night at the Gates of Hell makes for a surprisingly disturbing and uncomfortable experience. Night at the Gates of Hell commits fully to its degraded B-movie premise and at times blurs the line between an anachronistic PS1 title and a wannabe VHS found footage film. It's also several hours long, which makes it something of an outlier in a genre that mostly features shorter experiences. Golden Light. A horror roguelike title that takes a hapless protagonist with rescuing his girlfriend from the twisting, surreal bowels of a meat monstrosity known as the Gut. Hey, that's my nickname. Golden Light is absolutely beyond compare. A title that demands players eat their weapons and inventory items in order to gain health. It's a must-play for gamers obsessed with the weird and morose. Golden Light does not go for deliberate PS1 aesthetic, but its low-poly world and disturbingly ambiguous enemies definitely harken back to a time when limited visual fidelity necessitated an active imagination on the part of the player. It's also a robust title that features both online co-op and the strangest battle royale anyone will ever play. Nice! Back in 1995. Released in 2016, back in 1995 was among the PS1 nostalgia vanguard. Debuting years in advance of some of the more notable titles in the still burgeoning genre, a very literal title that outlines the developer's goal of reuniting warped, gruff 3D gaming with nightmare fuel body horror. While it's often compared to Silent Hill back in 1995, looks almost as if it would be more at home on a Sega Saturn. Plus, almost unbelievably slow and plodding, back in 1995 is really of its own strange breed, and it's only well suited for those who can't get enough of old school horror. Haunted PS1 Demo Disc 2020. The first of an annual collection of retro-stylized indie horror titles, Haunted PS1 Demo Disc 2020 is a selection of over a dozen bite-sized tales of terror intended to look like they might run on an original PlayStation console. From harrowing first-person shooters like Killer Bees and Filth Breed to the mind-melting exploration outfits Nico Yumi and Fatum Betula is an unremittingly disorienting collection of offbeat offerings. It's available for free on itch.io, meaning that just about everyone can give it a go. Hey, that's cool. Murder House. Dude, I know of Murder House. I haven't played it, but it looks cool. Developed by Puppet Combo, a studio at the forefront of the PSX horror movement, the Blunty titled Murder House follows an ill-fated television news crew who encountered the Easter Ripper after driving to a long-abandoned house to shoot a documentary. Replete with flat-looking textures, goofy models, and hilariously off-kilter voice acting, Murder House is extremely authentic in its portrayal of a late 90s PlayStation title. That said, it's also layered with filters that would make it look like a bad horror movie bootleg, though for many, that only adds to the charm. Plus, the game is shockingly gruesome, an aspect that's amplified by its otherwise simple graphics. Bloodborne PSX. Yes, we know about this as well. Released in early 2002, Bloodborne PSX is a ridiculously faithful fan-made recreation of From Software's Bloodborne, made to look as if the title had been released in 1995 instead of 2015. While it only portrays the first area of the original game, takes a few liberties and actually adds custom content to the game, it's nonetheless a perfect duplication of the early PlayStation aesthetic, replete with warbling textures and almost indecipherable enemies. A labor of love to rival the most legendary of fan-generated video game content, Bloodborne PSX is the ideal experience for From Software fans who've been around since the debut of Kingsfield on Sony's first console. Iron Lung. Created by Dusk developer David Szymanski, Iron Lung is an hour-long experience fraught with claustrophobic torment and nihilistic terror. Set in a universe in which every star has mysteriously disappeared, what remains of humanity searches desperately for some slim glimmer of hope in a soon-to-be still expanse of dead space. The player pilots a leaking submarine through an ocean of blood and is tasked with taking pictures of certain anomalous locations. With that in mind, visuals aren't a huge part of the title, but the game's low-poly nature certainly contributes to its grim, embellished atmosphere. Oh, wild. Okay, that sounds crazy. Huh. Well, there you go, guys. Here, I'll throw this in chat in case you guys want to take a look at any of these games. All right. We might, this might be a good one for us to hang on to. I'm going to probably bookmark this. Yeah, let's do that. Tab, dude. Yeah. There we go. That way, if we need another game to play, we'll have it there, to fill up some time during Scaretober. We've got a pretty good lineup of games slated to play, but if we need something to fill some time, we'll have a list there to pick out from. That'll be cool. That's it, man. That's news for today. Sorry that the beginning of the stream got a bit weird with the disconnection from Twitch servers and everything. It's kind of odd, but good news segment nonetheless. I appreciate you guys. Thanks to everybody that's part of this community in the first place, and thanks to everybody that was part of today's video gaming news. You guys rock. We will be moving on to our video game play for the day, which will be City Skylines and probably a little bit of Shatterline. But I will just say that if you were checking out this content on YouTube, sorry, let's try that again. If you're checking out this content on YouTube and you're enjoying it, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and the rest of this amazing community when we go live at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day. And we start off all of our streams with video gaming news, okay? Also, consider hitting that like and subscribe button for me if you wouldn't mind. Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. And we will catch everybody tomorrow morning for September 24th's edition of Video Gaming News. All right?